Today is Tuesday, the 11th of April. It was about 5:50. Andrew got himself a nice boss tom. He had probably how many hens with him?
Oh, probably
close to
6 or 7.
I'd say
More than that?
I'm going to guess between 8 and 10.
Okay.
He had a group of hens with him. Flew off the roost.
They were roosting in these trees here, and we had a perfect setup.
As we come out of the truck this morning, we were further away, and Andrew said, "Come on to this side of the road." I'm glad we did. And as we did, there was this open field here, and it was just a perfect setting for the birds to come right down. As the gradual decline here, the birds came down right into it, to the decline, and then hens came down first.
Yep.
I was set up on the other side over there, and they flew right into here and kind of milled around, had a lot of eyes on Andrew, so he had a little difficult task. And that tom came down, and Andrew didn't take but a few seconds to put him down. Dropped him how many yards?
Counting about 38.
Okay, so...
Does that sound about right?
Yeah, it looks about right.
Yeah.
It looks about right. You can see I got my vest right next to the bird over there, so you can see the orange on it.
Yeah.
And that bird came down and landed, strutted for a second, and Andrew just nailed him. The bird went straight down.
Yeah. Oh, there's my
Andrew didn't even twitch. And then from here, where was the coyote now?
I was here, and that coyote came down here, and he parked himself right there by that deadfall.
He was listening to the gobbler.
He was very intent. He didn't pick up on me at all, and he walked down there to the rocks and sniffed around, listened, and then he went down the ravine there, and I didn't see him after that. And I thought we were done. I thought those gobblers or the turkeys would pick up on him and decide to fly the complete opposite direction, and they didn't. They flew right in this clearing. It was the luckiest thing
I don't know.
ever.
There was some luck involved, but we sure had the right setup. We knew the terrain of the mountain. We knew the clearing. We had a good estimation that they were going to fly down to here. This was the logical point. And then we decided to take about 60 yards apart, give us both good shooting lanes. So I think we set up with a bit of strategy there. And it did work in our favor, but this was the most logical place for them to land with where they were roosting. The key was when you found where they were roosting.
Yeah.
And found them, because I thought they were on the other side of the mountain when we'd have come up on the wrong setup.
Right.
So I'm glad I listened to Andrew, who said come on this side. That was the key.
I could see the gobbler. I mean, just the black blob, but every time he gobbled, you could see the movement. So I knew that was him. And just to sit here and watch the birds fly directly at you, that is something else.
Yeah.
I've never seen. And then to watch him, just come through and then land right, 40 yards from you.
When the first hen flew down, they all started coming. Group number
Yeah.
2, number 3, number
Waves,
4.
yeah.
And I think there was probably 5 or 6 on the ground, and then there was another. I thought about 4 or 5 in the trees. So there was a big flock for that one tom.
But he was the only gobbler that I heard. I mean, it was the same exact spot.
Only heard one gobble. Sometimes there will be just one gobbling from the roost, but not been the case. They've been generally gobbling. So the rest of them were probably all his girls.
And now they need to find another.
And they're going to be out talking. So another tom's going to be answering.
Oh, Steve, that was wonderful.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Wow. I was thinking about how I would have to tell my wife that we're going to have store-bought turkey for Thanksgiving. And now I don't have to hang my head in shame.
Well, let's see him feathered out here. Let's get him spread out so he gets a good video and picture of him.
Can I give you...
Yeah.
He's recording, so...
Just hold on to it.
Yeah.
Don't touch anything. Okay, zoom.
Zoom in and out there.
Okay. One second when I get my hands adjusted on this and get a good view. You can see he is a full tom from the feathers. See that on the back there. So he was the boss there. Had himself a nice harem. He has some good spurs on him too. Nice tail feathers. Is he going to go on the wall?
My wife will allow a third bird on the wall.
So. Yeah, look at that. He's great tail feathers. He's got good color.
Yeah.
Make a great mount.
Nothing broken.
Can you roll his wings out so we can see the spread on them? I don't know if they'll stay or not, but see if we can get that. That'll show some color too. There we go. Yeah, that's... And look at that. Now that's a picture right there. Good bird. You can see from the tail feathers, he's a mature tom.
Can I flip it over to still photos real quick?
Sure.
Steve?
Gotta take it off of this here. This was the perfect spot to roost a bird. Obviously they roosted themselves, but to get them to fly down to you, you couldn't ask for a better setup. And even we had this division between us.
Yeah.
Which was good for shooting lanes,
Yeah.
it was good for safety, and then it was also kind of steering the birds one way or the other. Then we're going to stay in an area.
Did you set up your decoy?
I just set it up right by the tree I was at because I was afraid to get in the open.
Yeah.
Sun, it wasn't getting sun, but it was getting light out, and I was afraid that if I did, they were so close, I didn't want a hen or anything to see me. So I kind of set it under a tree, so when they came down, they could see something, but I doubt they saw it. They didn't see it from up there, and I didn't want to chance that because we were right in them. I mean, the closest roost there was 150 yards.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of a dangerous spot to put yourself in with, even with the sun coming up. It was giving him a lot of opportunity to see us, and it just wasn't worth the risk. But he was pretty vocal. He was vocal on his own. He was vocal with the other hens, and then when I was giving him a very soft call, he was just screaming at it.
Yeah.
So he was attentive, and the ideal scenario was the girls to fly down first. They did.
And that's exactly what happened.
They're a big bird coming down, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
One big wingspan when they're flying at you.
Oof, 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 oof.
And they just coasted all the way down. Nice soft landing.
Yeah.
In the seminars I've been in, they draw up the perfect scenario. Well,
Yeah.
actually, Marvin Robbins, this is the scenario he draws up. He says, this is the perfect scenario. You see that and you got a tom, you're in luck. And that's exactly what we had. Sometimes there's some bigger trees or pines and things like that, and they have obstacles. This they didn't, because there's not a lot of obstacles in their way when they roosted, so the roost trees are apart, which is the perfect scenario. So they can fly down, but they're not going to land on that side of the hill because there's not enough. It's too steep. It's too steep. They want to land and gradually walk up. So that's exactly what this is.
Those hens flew in right there.
The good Lord always smiles on us, but today it was a particularly big smile.
Yeah, wow.
Always smiles on us, no question, but today was a big smile. Couldn't have worked a better deal than that.
It's amazing how things turn, how quickly they turn.
Yeah.
You know, from...
Yesterday afternoon was dismal, but yesterday morning was extremely productive.
And then this morning didn't start out.
What was that? How many stands did we hit before we got a gobble?
5 others?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So we did the coyote locator 5 times before we got this guy to respond back, and we were then kind of far away from him. But since it's so open out here, the sound carried. And as I said earlier, that's where we were on the backside of that mountain. Andrew said, no, let's drive around. And had we not, we wouldn't have had this opportunity.
And we're not parked in the best spot to hear. We had to climb up the berm there. Sure enough.
Oh, this is just a dandulous setup.
Yeah.
Even if there wasn't birds, you'd want to set up here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You couldn't draw it up any better. You really, literally couldn't draw it up any better. That's a perfect setting. And a lot of the birds weren't coming to the calls after, or at least the henned up birds, toms, weren't coming to the calls as we experienced this hunt. So for us to get him to come down to Andrew was just an extra bonus. Had that not happened, chasing him or getting him to come away from those hens would have been a difficult
Possible,
task.
yeah.
And so we'd have had a lot of strategy and a lot of walking and heading him off and trying to get after him that way. But when they fly to you, that's a much better option.
No doubt.
It was nice to see him give that strut when he got on the ground too. When he gave that strut, I was like, no, that's got to be a tom. I couldn't see his beard from exactly where I was.
I saw the blue. I couldn't see the beard. I saw when he landed, he was bigger than the rest. Right. I saw the blue, and then I saw him puff up. Boom, that's it.
Done deal.
That's our guy.
Done deal.
All right. Well, thank you again, Steve.
You're welcome. That was fun.